Lastly, I do want to mention once again, hombre grande. That's what they call it here. Let me just give you the name of it. I think it's cassia. No, it's not cassia like the plant, but let me just give it to you real quick. And this is just because pound for pound, Quassia amara, pound for pound, a one size fits all. Like, I'm not really a big supplement person, to be honest. Like I kind of don't like taking a lot of things. It's just, for me, it's not even like, I just don't. It's not even like I have a problem with it. I just forget. And so a lot of times, I kind of come back around and I'll be like, man, my condition, I need to get myself back together and get back on my Dean. And generally that means I need to get back on my supplements. And what I found, though, is that from a lot of the damage that we do, it's falling onto the liver right now. And I always saw bitters in some of the work of some of the masters that I've been around. Bitters was like their go-to thing. Like they were always just working with bitters. And it kind of makes sense that, most of the time things that are really sweet are kind of bad for you. I mean, you can get a little bit of it, but it's never that you can get a bunch of sweet stuff and everything's going to go well with you. So that kind of also means on the other end, you probably need to have more bitter things. And we come to find out that that's true. So Quassia amara is actually also known as bitter ash and bitter wood. And there's a normalized version, or what do they call that? What do they call that? Oh my goodness, what is the term? It basically means when they bring this into like a laboratory, and then they give you exactly what the administration amount is. But this is so common. It's also common here in Costa Rica. You generally find this at markets sometimes just wrapped up in newspaper, and they pass that to you. And when people have all sorts of situations, they give them this. So I wanted to make sure that I put everyone onto this, even though it has nothing directly to do with, and that's Quassia amara. And the big crash with Quassia amara for the medical industry is that it is super cheap. So there's really no money in it at all. And this bitter, like, read just the Wikipedia entry, and they like to lie, and they even had to bear witness to the truth. And let me just pull that real quick. Oh, there it is right there. Quassia amara. I could cipher that all day. Sounds good to me. There it is. So you can read that, and if you go to the bottom, you'll see diabetes, back spasms. And, the tip on this insecticide, it also scalp problems. It's anti-leukemic. Okay. And the tip on this came from, so this was like in the heat of the whole thing when C had broke out and everybody was in terror. Right. And I had some folks at our house, and, it was a little bit more than normal. And the conversation was struck about the situation and what to do about it. One person was like, what should I do about it if something happens to me? And that started buzzing. And another person, and I'm not mentioning names here, but another person was like, let me call X or text X, because X knows everything about everything in the jungle. So they text X, email back right away, text back right away. Anything to do with C, Quassia amara or hombre grande. There's nothing that can fade the big man. And the indigenous knew it, the ancients knew it, and it still arrives today. It even talks about, it takes weight from the ovary and the uterus. It also decreases estrogen levels. So you see, this is like, there's several things that this is doing. It's not like just one thing. So very seldom do we find one thing that is able to address so many things.